Hey everyone, my name is Stephen Keach and I'm a composer for film and media. And today I wanted to talk about the gear that you might need if you want to get into writing music for film. So I've got 10 things today. The first one and the most important one is a computer. Computers are insanely powerful these days, and you can make incredible music just with your computer. It doesn't matter if it's PC or if it's Mac, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Make sure it has a fast processor and make sure it has a lot of RAM, and you're gonna be good to go. The next thing that you're gonna need is a DAW. DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation, and there are a lot of amazing options out there. If I were just starting today, I would use something like Logic. Again, I'm a Mac user, so Logic works great. It's really inexpensive and really easy to use, and you can do great things with it. If you've got a PC, I'd start somewhere, maybe Cubase. I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but Hans Zimmer uses it, and he's pretty good. I use Pro Tools because I learned how to record on Pro Tools in 2007, and I wouldn't recommend it for people starting out unless you're coming from a recording engineer background. Maybe you can get away with using Pro Tools. It can be a really, really great program. So the third thing that you're gonna need is an interface. An interface is what turns your analog audio, what you're putting through the microphone, into a digital signal for your DAW to read. I use the Apollo interface. I have two Apollos. I've got the Apollo Twin and I've got an Apollo Quad. By no means do you need two, and you can get away with a much cheaper audio interface. I can get into that in another video of how I use that and how I integrate that into my studio and my workflow. So you're gonna need a microphone. If you're gonna record anything, you're gonna need a microphone to capture those sounds. There are basically 3 different kinds of microphones. You've got dynamic microphones, condenser microphones, and ribbon microphones. This microphone right here is a dynamic microphone. It's an SM57 made by Shure. It's great. It's industry standard, great for recording guitars, drums, piano, vocals, whatever you want to record with it, and it costs about $100. So this thing, I couldn't recommend it enough. Buy 2 of them, put them in an XY position, and you can record any stereo sound you want to. I would love to hear in the comments below what pieces of gear you think are essential to your workflow, so leave a comment. I'm gonna be doing a series for beginner composers. If you wanna learn more about that, please subscribe and follow along. If you like this video, then give it a like. It really helps. All right, Midi controller. If you're gonna make music inside your computer, get a Midi controller. I use the M-Audio Hammer 88. It has weighted keys, so it feels a little bit more like a piano. If you're more used to a synth, then you can use something like the Novation 49 key. It's got a bunch of faders and drum pads and all that stuff, but there's so many MIDI controllers out there, and honestly, a MIDI controller is a MIDI controller. So along with the keyboard itself, mine doesn't have any fader ports, so I use the Icon iControls for some faders, and that's going to be crucial for making realistic strings or utilizing the controls you can assign the filter on a synth to it. So I would definitely think about getting some faders because they make your life so much easier. But you can always just draw it in. You can draw in MIDI, you can draw in all of that stuff. So if you don't have a MIDI controller now, then you don't have to have one. Okay, so VSTs. What does VST mean? Virtual Studio Technology, I guess, is that what that means? Virtual Studio Technology. Basically, that's our big string libraries, instruments, all that stuff that you can open up in your DAW, and you can either draw out the MIDI notes or you can play it in through your MIDI controller. And there are some amazing free resources out there that you can utilize to get started. Spitfire Labs is all free, and that is some incredible sounds, and you can just immediately start making music with that stuff. Christian Henson from Spitfire started a piano book. Basically, it's an open library where people make sounds and contribute to this free resource for composers. There's a lot of other ways to get started. East West has a composer cloud It's basically monthly fee. You pay a monthly fee and they give you access to every one of their instruments and its entire orchestral libraries and all that. And so that's a really great resource. I think it's maybe $30 a month and you can start making music immediately with it. A good pair of headphones. I really love these Beyerdynamic DT770 Studio 80 ohm headphones. They're great. They're very comfortable on my ears. But honestly, if you don't have a really amazing set of headphones, use some iPhone headphones or something like that, or whatever you need to use, just get started. But you're going to want headphones before you get speakers, because if you're going to be recording audio, you need to make sure that you can record the audio without the speakers going back into your microphone. So get a decent pair of headphones. Don't spend a ton of money. Just get some headphones and get started. Once you have headphones and you want to listen on some speakers, there's some really great options that are very affordable. If you plan on mixing your own music, then make sure you learn about where to place speakers, because that's going to be the most important thing. But I know I started on KRK Rocket 5s and they're very inexpensive. I know a ton of people, even great, already successful composers that are still using the Yamaha HS series, and they love it and they're very affordable. I actually use one of those subs, so it's great, works great in my workflow. I use the Atom A7Xs and I've loved them. They've got a really flat response and they're fun to make music on. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need, this is fairly obvious, but you're going to need sources to record. Basically, you need things to record. These could be pots and pans, they could be your friends. Whatever it is, just some sources. The last thing you need is not a piece of gear. You are going to need patience, because it takes a while to learn this skill. It takes a while to break through and actually have a library of music. It takes a while to really refine and hone your sound. But don't be discouraged by that, because everyone starts somewhere. Be patient. It'll happen in time. Every project you do will lead to the next one, and you'll get better and better and better as you keep working and climbing and creating. So I've listed a bunch of things in this video, but by no means do you need all these things to get started. If you have a computer with GarageBand, then start making music. If you're scoring a film and you don't have all this stuff, open GarageBand and open your phone and press play at the same time and write some music. It will work. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make music.